So without further ado, I would like to introduce our speakers, Elayane Merriweather and Monica Ruiz, here to tell us WTF is working on social.
All right, awesome. Thank you for the introduction, Jacob. All right, hi everybody. My name is Elayane Merriweather, and I'm the social media manager at Freshmade. Freshmade is a design-driven branding agency that aligns food brands with today's generation. We help find the sweet spot between disruption and relevance. With over 7 years of experience in the industry, I've had the opportunity to work with some amazing brands, some of which you can see featured here. I've had the opportunity to lead local and nationwide award-winning visual storytelling influencer campaigns. I'm a graduate from the University of Central Florida with a degree in writing and rhetoric. I first got into the industry working for a modern influencer marketing agency in Orlando. It was here that I first learned about sponsored bloggers and tweeters, and I was immediately fascinated that you could get paid to tweet. From there, my interest and love for social media has only grown. My passion from social media stems from the immense power that comes with it. It can impact and change people's lives, it can push people to purchase, and it can start a global movement. It has limitless potential.
Okay. All right. My name is Monica Ruiz. I'm the Senior Digital Marketing Strategist at Starmark International. Starmark is a full-service integrative marketing communication agency located in downtown Fort Lauderdale. We're big into ideas and innovation backed by data-driven results. We were ranked the #5 creative agency in North America by the Mobile Marketing Association, and we're also the #1 tourism agency in Florida. I've had the honor of working with tons of great brands across tourism, education, and technology verticals. But I actually got my career started in journalism. I was a news editor for FAU student-run a newspaper called the University Press. I took the lead on investigative stories and crime on campus. I won first place for the best news story in 2011, don't do the math to figure out how old I am, about hazing in Greek life. And now I'm the first person my friends come to when they can't find the guy they like on Instagram. But right before I graduated, the big question was, is print dead? I was unsure about the future of the industry that I had just invested so much time, and around the same time, social media marketing was just at the tip of the iceberg. It was blowing up. I knew I was passionate about storytelling and connecting people, so I took a leap into social media, and 8 years later, here I am today, and I'm excited here to discuss WTF is working on social media.
WTF is this presentation covering. So what we're going to take you through now is some organic social best practices, some social tips and tricks to help increase your brand reach and awareness, some really great tools and resources to help you be successful on social, some paid social best practices, and then we're going to drill down a little bit into campaign setup, targeting, and how to create an impactful ad. When life gives you lemons. 2020 kicked off a new decade with an entirely new way of life and set of rules for everyone. From a global pandemic to Black Lives Matter movement, brands and marketers have had to pivot and learn new ways to navigate the platform. We've had to change strategy, rework our copy, and basically go back to the drawing board. This should be no surprise because we're used to getting curveballs. In 2018, when the algorithm changed, we all thought everything was over. But what did we do? We pivoted, we learned, and we adapt. The social media landscape changes almost as quickly as you hit retweet. So how do we turn these lemons into lemonade? By having an always-on, organic, and paid social media strategy to boost our business. Having an always-on organic social media strategy is crucial for brands. Every single time a brand posts on social media, it's an extra opportunity to prove its expertise, to claim its identity, and to connect with its consumer. Think about it like this. A social media strategy provides the brand with more chances at bat, which means more possibilities for home runs.
We're living through history right now. We're living through a pandemic and a historical revolution. From a professional and job aspect, it's a very scary time for job security. Businesses, both large and small, are finding it difficult to plan far enough ahead because we just don't know. We don't know how long this is going to impact our business and our life, so we have to take things day by day. But the big question here is, what can we do now? So when life gives you lemon, we make lemonade. Other than the fact that Lemonade is the title of Beyonce's album, she represents a champion that we all need to channel within ourselves to make it through these times. So our goal for this webinar is to empower you with thought starters so that you can test and apply to your own social media strategy.
So let's get to it. Everything you need to know to have a fierce organic strategy. Next, I'm going to take you through some irreplaceable organic best practices. First one is keep it real. Facebook and Instagram are all about community. Your fans and followers are looking for a connection and are more likely to engage with a post that feels personal rather than something that's overproduced, salesy, or obviously not created by you. So it's always important to remember to be conversational and authentic. And one way you can do this is through your copy and the creative content that you produce. Frequency and consistency. Consistent posting is key. Don't be afraid to post daily. As long as you stay fresh and authentic, your fans will be excited to follow the journey with you. When you post on a consistent basis, you're setting up an expectation for your followers. They're gonna look forward to that next post. You'll notice large brands will post multiple times a day, whereas smaller businesses may only post a few times a week. What's important here is whatever you commit to, just keep it consistent and create that schedule. Third thing we're going to talk about is content production and diversity of content, aka creativity. We have to get creative. The social landscape has become very saturated with a lot of noise, so it's important to find ways to stand out. You can do this by posting a variety of content to maximize your reach. Your audience isn't going to have the same preference. Some might identify with video content, some might identify with photos, or some might like stories. You can make it fun too. Instagram provides you a lot of opportunities to get creative. Take Instagram stories, for example. There are a lot of creative tools that are already in the platform at your disposal. There's boomerangs, face filters, stickers, quizzes, polls. Instagram is basically saying, hey, get creative and entertain your audience. Engagement is no longer just directed towards in-feed post. It now includes metrics such as story replies, IGT episode views, and story mentions. And more content types means more opportunity to increase your engagement. And consequently, organically grow your Instagram following. Some more irreplaceable organic best practices. You and your fans. Acknowledging a comment may earn you a lifelong fan. So you want to take a moment to respond to someone when they're engaging with you. If they're taking time to respond on your platforms, they're looking for a conversation. So even if it's a reaction, a like, or an emoji, you want to start to form that relationship and have that two-way conversation with your followers. Stories. Stories have become increasingly popular. In 2020, we have now seen that stories are more viewed than in-feed posts. The cool thing about stories is a lot of them are made in the moment and they use a combination of video, photos, and other creative tools. Stories can be added to your Instagram and Facebook at the same time. You can link them in the back end, so when you're posting a story, you just turn it on and then you can then share it as well to your Facebook. If you get stuck for ideas on stories, a good thing to do would be to show that behind the scenes content. Your brand wants to see, or people want to see that there's a face behind the brand. So showing that behind the scenes exclusive content is going to excite your audience and they're going to want to follow your journey. Another big one is video. More video is being watched on Facebook and Instagram than ever before, especially on mobile phones, because we're all on them. You want to create videos that let your fans feel like they're taking a journey with you. Lives. When the global pandemic started and people could no longer interact or leave their homes, we saw an increase in lives take place on Instagram. Great way to do this is by going live on Facebook or Instagram stories to make an announcement, share something new, or just hang out with your fans. Try not to overthink it and just make sure you have a strong Wi-Fi connection. And now we're going to take a poll. Do you struggle with creating a cohesive look and feel to your Instagram platform? Give you guys a couple of minutes or seconds, I should say. All right, and do a little here. So some people are still answering. Looks like a lot of you are saying, seriously, why is it so hard to make my feed look good? LOL to the one person that said, what's Instagram? All right, let's talk about this a little bit. Creating an aesthetic. Your Instagram aesthetic is the first thing potential customers will notice when they check your brand's profile. The colors, layout, and tone and overall feeling of your Instagram page contribute to an aesthetic that can either gain you a new follower or send them running. A unique and cohesive Instagram aesthetic is not just visually pleasing, but can improve brand recognition and business success. It can also convey your brand voice and personality and help followers instantly recognize your content when you're posting on social. So now you might be thinking, well, I don't have a giant creative team who can produce all this beautiful looking content for me. What can I do? We have a solve. Meet your new best friend, presets. Presets do all the hard work for you and they ensure you don't spend hours editing posts one at a time. Presets are photo edit settings that are saved in Adobe Lightroom that you can download and put a similar treatment on all your photos. This is gonna help you to get that continuity you're looking for. There are a lot of different presets out there with different themes. So in the image on the screen, you see this one is for food lovers. They have a lifestyle, travel, product-based, like there are endless amounts of presets and they're gonna help you in the long run and save you time, and it's very cost efficient. Tips and tricks for making lemonade. Leveraging location and hashtags on Instagram. This is a really, really big one. More than 150 million people visit the Instagram Explore tab every day. Increasing the likelihood that your content will surface to where they are is by using hashtags. When you use hashtags, that is gonna put you on the Explore page. Now the next question is gonna be, well, what kind of hashtags? When you're leveraging hashtags, you wanna use a strategic strategy. You wanna leverage popular, moderate, and niche tags. Popular tags are gonna have anywhere between 100,000 and 1 million tags. So if you only use popular tags, you're gonna be one in millions and no one's ever gonna see your content. You wanna use a mix. So large tags, medium tags, and then you wanna drill down and really use those niche tags. The tag should always relate back to your image, but it should also be trying to tap into that audience where you want your content and brand to be. So that way when someone's on Instagram searching that hashtag, they're gonna find your brand. You can almost think of hashtags like you might think of keywords for a search engine, all confined to Instagram. Tagging your locations is gonna work the same way. When you tag your locations, you're connecting with a moment or place, and you can even encourage your fans to use them at shows, events, and more. On this next slide, we're gonna see an example of how hashtags were able to effectively be used. On the left is a picture of me and my super cute husky Zoe. In the middle, you're gonna see a mix of different hashtags that I used. I used popular, moderate, and niche hashtags. So some hashtags related to my location, others related to the type of dog I had, the clothing brand I was wearing, different elements in the image. On the far right, you're gonna see an image of my back-end analytics. And you're gonna see that because of using hashtags, this post reached over 7,000 people. 90% of the people who engaged with this post weren't even following my account. And just to give a little context, I only have about 2,000 followers. So it was really these hashtags that were doing that legwork for me and putting me in front of new people that weren't already following me. Dynamic content on the platform. A cool one that's become increasingly popular is carousel content. Businesses are using the carousel feature on Instagram to serve their current customers and generate new leads. The cool thing about carousels is that when someone is swiping through them, it counts as a visual like. So although they might not comment or share or give us that engagement that we're looking for, if you captivate them enough where they swipe through, it's gonna tell the algorithm, hey, people are interested in this content, let's continue to serve it to other people. Currently, Instagram allows for you to use up to 10 frames in your carousel. But the cool thing is you can do a mix between video and still image. Some great examples of how to leverage this feature would be things like a product launch, before and afters, process demonstrations, recaps. The big thing here is storytelling. You want that first frame to be captivating and engaging for someone to want to continue to swipe through and see what you're talking about. Giveaways. Giveaways are great and they're extremely popular. And why wouldn't they be? Everybody loves free stuff. Giveaways are a great way to increase your brand reach and awareness and help you reach some of your KPIs. So when you're creating a giveaway, have some of the guidelines be the metrics you're trying to meet. So maybe one of the ways they have to enter the giveaway is by following your account on social media. Or maybe they have to tag 2 friends. Or maybe they have to share it in an Instagram story. You basically can frame your giveaway in a way that is going to benefit you. There's several different ways to execute giveaways. You can give away your own products. You can partner with a like-minded brand and tap into their target audience. You can collab with an influencer. There are endless possibilities here on how you can leverage giveaways to get in front of new people and increase your brand awareness on social. User-generated content, also known as UGC, is redefining marketing in 2020. UGC is doing a lot of things on the platform. It creates trust and reliability. It showcases authenticity. It increases user engagement and interaction, and it drives conversions and revenue. UGC is deemed so genuine because it's driven by real user experiences, ideas, opinions, and feedback. It's one thing for a brand to say, our food tastes the best, or we have the best clothing, or we do the best this, but it's completely different when you have people advocating for your brand and telling their personal experiences and why they are fans of your brand. Content amplification. So I've already talked about how stories have become increasingly popular. Stories are now more viewed than in-feed posts. And people are checking stories. Stories are the first thing they're checking when they're getting on the Instagram platform. But it's like, what about our in-feed post? A great way to bring traction to your in-feed post is by amplifying them through Instagram stories. Promote your in-feed post in your Instagram stories and use a CTA. In the image here, they use the CTA, check out our last post. Have that CTA and drive traffic back to your in-feed post. Think about it like this. If someone gets served this and they see it and they click back, you've hooked them. They're interested. And now they're gonna be more likely to comment, tag a friend, or save it for later. Here are some other examples of ways in which you can get creative with your content amplification. What we're starting to see that's becoming increasingly popular is people are treating these Instagram stories as teasers and suspense. You see here, they're covering up the image a little bit, teasing, hey, you wanna see what we just posted? Check back to our last post. Basically forcing people to go back and see what's taking place in feed. And we're gonna do another poll. When is the best time to post on your social media platforms? All right, I'm seeing a lot of, oh, it's moving. Seeing a lot of evening and then early morning. And lunchtime, okay. Thing here is, everyone was a little bit right and everyone was a little bit wrong. Sprout Social did release from their 2020 trend report, the best global times to post to receive engagement. But I think what's important to understand is, yes, you can use this as a guide, but it's gonna vary by industry. So if you're in education, your posting time might not be the same as a food brand who's targeting millennial moms, which might not be the same as a nonprofit organization. So the question then is, well, how do I find my best time to post? You can uncover your own best time to post by testing. The best way to figure out when you should be posting is by testing different days and different times. And then go in your back end analytics and look at your spikes in engagement and start to track trends and see when you're receiving that high engagement. There are some great tools out there that actually have built-in software to help you, one of which is Sprout Social that has viral post, where it's a software where all they're doing is looking at your audience and then like-minded audiences and then telling you optimal times to post. You can also get in the back end of the native platforms, Facebook and Instagram, and it will show you when your audience is most active on social media. And that would be a great place to start testing and posting at that time and seeing how your engagement does. Upgrade your tools. You're only as great as your backup dancers. Tools and resources are crucial to being successful in creating a smart and efficient social media strategy. I included some of my favorite tools here, one of which is Sprout Social. It's a one-stop shop for everything. In Sprout Social, there's social listening tools, so you can be listening to conversations that people are having. There's publishing there, so you can schedule all your content in advance. You can even do your community management through this platform and respond to people. There's also a lot of great performance analytics in the back of Sprout Social that you can leverage to adjust and edit your social strategy. Another favorite tool of mine is Later. Later helps you see what your Instagram aesthetic will look like before you post. All you have to do is drag and drop creative in there, and you can start to move it around and create that perfect Instagram feed that you're looking for. A big thing about Later is that it's basically like having a visual Instagram planner before you post. Another interesting and cool feature about Later is that they actually have a UGC function in there, and they will help you find and repost your brand's UGC. It also has link in bio integration, which is awesome because that helps to create a seamless process for your target audience. Another great tool for planning out a feed is the Preview app. There you can plan, design, and manage your Instagram. In Preview, they also help you with finding trending hashtags. So you can put in key search words that you're looking for, and it will spit out relevant hashtags based on what you're searching. You can also edit photos in here, rearrange the layout, schedule, even test your hashtags, and check your analytics. I know I talked about the importance of stories. The next two are two great tools for using for stories. It's Story Chic and Unfold. These are both on-app features, but it's a great solve to make your Instagram stories look more curated on a budget. There's templates in there, pre-made designs. You can manipulate the colors, and you can really create some dynamic and visually appealing Instagram stories. When it works, it works. Here are some examples from my current clients putting these best practices and strategy into action. We launched a UGC campaign for my client, and we've seen the amount of tags and mentions we received on social double. People are continually tagging us in their recipes, leaving positive comments, and we've seen this increase because we've leveraged testimonials in UGC. On the right, I have an example of the importance of leveraging dynamic video content. This was a stop motion animation that targeted our audience, but we made it unique and interesting. So instead of a BLT, it was a TLT. We also made sure to use and optimize hashtags. And this post now, it's actually been updated, has reached over 80,000 people, and engagement is skyrocketing. This is another example of when it works, it works. On the left, you're gonna see a feed before it was planned out and before there was really consistent branding. And then on the right, you're gonna see a feed featuring the same products, but it looks cleaner, more polished, and better reinforces branding. So that's why it's very important to take the time to plan out and curate that cohesive and visually appealing looking feed for your audience. And now I'm going to turn it over to my girl, Monica.
All right. Let me share my screen. All right. Now it's time to get your paid social strategy into formation. Here's an interesting Beyonce fact. She rehearsed for 8 months in preparation for her debut performance at Coachella, also known as Baychella. This was just 6 months after giving birth to her twins. Why is this important? Because now it's the time for you to rehearse for your own Baychella. If things are slower at work, take this as an opportunity to do all the things you've been putting in the back burner. Audit what you're doing, find new ways to reinvent your owned assets, test new ways to communicate with your audience, and test and reevaluate the way you're measuring your success. If you're new at social media marketing, I recommend that you enroll in Facebook Blueprint. This is a free resource where you can learn the basics of social media advertising. At the end of this presentation, there's a slide for tools that you can leverage. Let's take a poll. Have you ever talked about something out loud and then were served an ad exactly about the thing that you were just talking about? All right, 96%. Sounds about right. Let's. Oops. If you answered yes, you're probably thinking Facebook is eavesdropping. Promise you it's not. Facebook doesn't need to listen to our conversations in order to serve us relevant ads. We are constantly leaving a digital trace and voluntarily giving Facebook everything they need to know in order to execute relevant ads. From the things that we post, the pages we follow, the things we buy online, our digital habits have become usable data for advertisers like myself that can use in targeting strategies. So here's an example of, if you're familiar with the Facebook ad platform, there's an option for travel advertisers to reach potential buyers. We'll get into that a little bit later. So when you toggle this, I love to read that comments on my ads. So these are ads or comments on some of my ads, and you just see people think that it's so funny, this just came up, this is a sign. So that to me is a sign that it's working. So I could spend all day talking about social media, but we don't have that kind of time tonight. I know we have attendees with all different ranges of experience, and the paid side of social media can become very technical. So if you have any specific questions, I'd be happy to connect with any of you after the conversation. I'll post my LinkedIn at the end so we can all become social besties. But whether you're new to social media or you're looking for new ways to enhance your skills, these are the absolute top things you need to know. Choose your campaign objective that ties back to your business goal, leverage pixel data, create for the mobile user in mind, keep it short and sweet, refresh your ads often to prevent burnout, and use advanced targeting to find new impactful audiences. Before you start advertising on social media and its family of applications, you need to ask yourself these 3 questions. What's your goal? Who is this for? And what do we want to say and how do we want to say it? So again, if you're familiar with the platform, campaign ad sets ads, this is familiar from the platform. If you're not, no biggie, I'm going to explain it anyways. Into our flawless campaign setup. First things first, you need to install the Facebook Pixel to your website. The Facebook Pixel is an analytic tool that allows you to measure the effectiveness of your advertising by understanding the actions people are taking on your website. Number 2, UTM parameters. These are simple tags that you add at the end of a URL. When someone clicks on that URL with these UTM parameters, those tags are then sent back to your Google Analytics for tracking. So if you have a boss that doesn't understand social and thinks social media is not working, this is a way that you prove them that it does. Third, teamwork. Effective digital marketing collaboration across all channels. Social media is just one piece of the pie. It's one touch point that a customer or a prospect can take, but it's not the only. It can take up to 6 or more touch points to impact a consumer's decision. That means search, PR, SEO, display, and social all need to work together and be on the same page by sending the same message. Facebook offers a wide variety of advertising products that can align to your business goal. In the Facebook Ad Manager, there are 3 buckets of campaign objectives that you can choose from. These all fall in line with a traditional marketing funnel. So you see under the awareness bucket, we have brand awareness and reach. Consideration, we have traffic campaigns, engagement, app installs, video views, lead generation, message apps. Conversions, we have conversions, catalog sales, and store visits. Again, awareness is talking to the upper top funnel, considerations middle funnel, and then your conversion is your lower bottom funnel. So instead of my tip of the day, I'm calling these my squeeze of the day. So please, for the love of our queen bee, please, 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 please stop using traffic and engagement objectives. I'll tell you why. Paying for likes for your page will not increase the reach or post engagement. I'll say that again. Paying for likes will not increase reach or post engagements. In 2018, Facebook's algorithm changed to prioritize content from friends and family over businesses and brand pages. So you can spend all the money in the world to grow your Facebook page, but that will not impact or a purchase or influence the consideration of a business. So ask yourself this, what is a like worth to my business? Is it higher than a lead or a purchase? When you pick your campaign objectives, you are telling Facebook, I'm willing to invest X amount of dollars to find X amount of people to generate this outcome. Both engagement and traffic objectives optimize for clicky behavior. In return, you'll find higher bounce rates on your landing pages and pointless reactions on ads that do not result in a direct response result. When you select either of these objectives, you are telling people to find people who are most likely to click on my ad. That's it. The sole purpose of that objective is to find clicks, not purchases, not leads, nada. So I know you're probably asking yourself, well, how do I get people to my website without using a traffic objective? It's simple. Our holy grail, the Facebook pixel. Your Facebook pixel is the holy grail for driving results at a lower cost per acquisition. Instead of a traffic objective, choose a conversion campaign objective based on a standard pixel or custom event. So this is a screenshot of what that looks like on the ads platform. For engagement, if you have an organic post that you want to drive more eyeballs to, there's a way to do it without boosting it. Under the ads creation section in Ads Manager, you have a choice to either create a new ad or choose from an existing post using a post ID. You can find the post ID in two different methods. The first way is by clicking the date that the post was published, and it'll open up a larger window. You can then take the last set of numbers in the URL, and that is your post ID. Second way, instead of entering the post ID, you can select a post, and a window will pop up, and then you can choose from any published Facebook, Instagram, or branded content. Ta-da! Once we have our objective in line with our business goal, now we're ready to build our audience and target who we want to see the ad. Understanding the different types of targeting capabilities will allow you to serve your ad to people who find it relevant. Another poll. How often do you use lookalike audiences? All right, we have good mix here. Some people are saying sometimes. It's the winner here, and 22% are saying always. All right, well, let's get into it. Targeting 101. There are 3 different types of audiences that you can build in Ads Manager. Core is also known as saved audiences or custom or lookalike audiences. Core or saved audiences lets advertisers define their audience based on location, demographic, interests, and behaviors. There's a pro tip. Always, always, always allow detailed targeting expansion. Let's say we're a pizza restaurant. In our targeting, we're going to include our interests like pepperoni, pizza delivery, Pizza Hut, Domino's, etc. When we add targeting expansion, we're allowing Facebook to add additional interests that could be relevant to our audience that we didn't think about. When we do that, that actually lowers our cost per result. Our next audience, custom audience. Custom audiences allows advertisers to reconnect with people who have engaged with your business on or off the website. This is going to be your middle to lower funnel audience. These are people who have visited your website, watched the videos you posted, submitted their email address to you, interacted with your Facebook or Instagram pages. The purpose of this audience strategy is designed to serve them a different message than you would to someone who has never heard of your business or brand. Another squeeze of the day. Create custom audiences that are valuable to your business and then use them to model for a lookalike audience. Back to our pizza example. Let's say we want to find new customers who eat pizza more than once a month. How do we do that? Simple. We're going to create a custom audiences for users who have triggered a purchase conversion in the last 30 days. Now we're going to refine that audience by adding a frequency parameter and only collecting data in this audience that matches 2 or more purchase conversions. Save this audience and then use it as a new lookalike audience for prospecting. Which brings us to our next slide. Lookalike audiences. Lookalike audiences allows you to reach new people whose interests are similar to those of your best customers. Here are some lookalike audiences you can create today. Website engagement, buyers, emails, leads, Facebook or Instagram engagement, people who viewed a portion of your video. Lots of different ways to slice and dice this. All right, now for the good stuff. All right, we picked our best objective that matches our outcome. We know who we want to see our ad, and now we need to create our ad and send that message. You can have the best targeting in the world, but if your creativity is off, your entire campaign can suffer. Social media is a different beast. To create great ads, you need to be in tune with user behavior on social media. People use social media for entertainment and to connect with friends and family. Their behavior on mobile is completely different than when they're watching TV. What you run on a TV spot should be completely different from what you run on Facebook. And what you run on Facebook should be completely different from what you run on Instagram. In order to design your creative for a mobile world, you need to keep it short and sweet, with the sound off, and make sure that your brand is identified within the first 3 seconds. Video is so important. I can't stress that enough, especially on social media. 75% of mobile data will be video by the end of 2020. Now, videos don't have to be a massive production. In the next few slides, I'm going to show you some simple ways that you can start incorporating videos to your campaigns. Size matters on mobile. We hold our phone vertically 90% of the time, so our ads need to be built with that behavior in mind. Here are 5 different creative sizes on social media. I will never, ever, ever, ever recommend a 16:9 creative. The feeds on Instagram and Facebook are already so noisy. There's tons of distraction between dog videos and memes that already make it very difficult for advertisers to stop scrolling fingers. A 16:9 creative puts you at a disadvantage. With this size, you are deliberately allowing more noise and more distraction by not giving your creativity the opportunity to take up more real estate on a mobile phone. This is your chance to get someone to stop what they're doing, listen to what you have to say. So please don't limit yourself by choosing the wrong size. Here's an example. On the left is the Chevrolet 60-second TV spot. They took exactly what they ran on TV and used it as a Facebook ad. Now we know, after going over the last slide, our behavior on mobile was completely different. Here they're not using a mobile-friendly slide. Their brand mark is towards the end of the video, and they don't have captions or over their voiceovers. On the right is their updated mobile-friendly version. Here you can see they shortened the video by 15 seconds. They're using a 4:3 ratio aspect, and they've added graphics and supers to tell the story without sound. They've also included their brand marks very early on, and this makes a huge impact on performance. There are so many different types of ads you can run, and there's not one right or wrong answer on what type of creative that you should run for your business. Each have their own benefits and serve for different purposes. What works for one business might not work for another. You just have to test and see what works for you. One of the creatives that you can run is a carousel ad. Carousel ads allow you to show up to 10 images and 10 headlines within a single ad unit. Each art card can also link out to a different landing page. Here's an example of one of our clients' creative where we're using a carousel. Here we're using only 2 images to create this panoramic experience to show wide open spaces. So then we decided we're going to spruce this up a little bit. We later then turned that same creative and campaign from those still images and added a cinematograph and very subtle movements to make this into a video creative. So here you can see now that the clouds are moving, there's very subtle movement within the waves. After we switched out this creative from the still carousel into the video carousel, we instantly saw a lift in the performance. The campaign delivered, this new campaign creative delivered 78% increase in clicks to the site after it was changed. Instant experience ads are one of my favorite ad units. It's a fast loading, full screen mobile experience that acts as a landing page within the Facebook device. This decreases our bounce rates on landing page because we're keeping the user on Facebook to deliver our message. We're not taking them off site for potentially a landing page that takes, their load time is a little bit slower. So here, this instantly uploads as soon as you click into the ad. You can also add videos, carousels, tilt to pan to make this an interactive experience. For this example, this creative had an average of 45 seconds view times. That's 3 times higher than the average of someone who's watched a 15-second video ad. And if you've been in the game for a long time, you know getting 45 seconds for your ad is a huge win. Here is another really cool example. In December, our agency was whitelisted for augmented reality ads before it was rolled out to all advertisers. We quickly produced our first AR ad and started experimenting with the capabilities. And since then, we've launched over 6 AR ads and experiences and learned a lot along the way. In this example for this creative, we are combining a 360 video and augmented reality to produce a highly engaged and highly immersive ad. This 360 video allows the user to move their phone around and to fully immerse themselves into this moment. They can see different perspectives in the video. And then when you click into the ad, you're able to bring that experience right into your environment. The AR ad incorporates a destination URL, so then you can then, if you've convinced the user at this point that they want to take a trip to Amelia Island, they can then swipe up and go to the website to learn more. So we recently launched this creative. But the data is already very promising. We're seeing a cost per view at less than 3 cents and close to half a minute of interaction within the AR portal. My next example combines a video animation using no photography, driving into a messenger for a lead generation campaign for one of our clients. Driving your ads to Messenger, which is one of Facebook's family of applications, allows brands to start a one-to-one private conversation with the user. Here you can capture lead data and connect to a CRM for easy integration. In this example, you can see that I'm able to input a lead for an SMS reminder through text. Another fun tip about Messenger ads, they have a 70% better open rate than emails. And a lot of people don't know this, but as soon as a user clicks through a Messenger ad, they automatically opt in and a brand can send them messages as an ongoing thing. My last example, story ads. Story ads, this placement is completely different. Story ads can run on both Facebook and Instagram. They both have a stories placement. This is a full screen vertical ad that features a swipe up action to drive to a website. Story ads are unique in the fact that there's not really a place that you can post ad copy compared to the in-feed ads where you have post copy that you can include. Any copy in this placement will need to be baked into the creative, so you can see here that we added some supers to tell the story. And the difference between the user behavior on this placement is that we're dealing with really fast thumbs. If you ever seen someone or any of your friends go through Instagram story ads, all they're doing is swipe, 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 swipe. So you really have to consider when you're designing for this placement, that behavior in mind. This means as an advertiser, we need to put our best efforts in the first 1 to 2 seconds. We don't have post copy to support the creative, so we need to be fast and intentional with our messaging. And when it works, it works. And Facebook recognizes you with a Facebook case study. Long story short, we were whitelisted for that new tool that I mentioned before about trip consideration. This allowed us to prioritize our audience based on people who are in the early dream phases of planning a vacation. We were early adopters in this new tool, and when we tested it, this feature, we saw an 82% increase in flight bookings to Greater Fort Lauderdale. So I included the link here so you guys can read all about it. And that is our talk.